I got to give them a lot of credit. I mean, that's a good football team that came to play tonight, and I told our guys in the locker room afterwards that they outplayed us, and I don't know what more you can say about it. I thought we came out the second half. We found out a little bit more about ourselves. We obviously did not play very well in the first half, and in a lot of situations, complementary football was not a strong suit in the first half. The second half we came out. I thought we played complementary football, offense, defense, special teams, did some things really well. But we've got to find a way to finish. And you go on the road and you end up 0-3. 0 for 3, 3 turnovers to getting none on defense. It's going to be really difficult to overcome, especially when you're playing a really good football team with a quarterback that is a really talented football player. So it stings. It's really difficult. It's really tough. Those guys are hurting. They've worked extremely hard, and they have incredible expectations. But that's why you play the game.
Luke, you put so much emphasis on winning the fourth quarter. How disappointing is it that?
Oh, there's a lot of things that are disappointing. Getting ourselves in a position where we, have a chance to do what we want to do and not being able to finish is definitely something that is going to continue to, haunt us until we can overcome some of those situations. But it's hard. Yes, we didn't finish. Yes, we didn't win the fourth quarter because we had an opportunity. But it's really putting ourselves in not a very good situation to start the game, especially in the way we played the first half.
A couple of your defenders talked about the tempo, and I think you mentioned it too, that they'd be going fast. Did they catch you off guard, get you on skates on a couple drives in that first half?
They did a good job. I mean, it was. I'm not saying a whole bunch of things we didn't prepare for, but it's always going to be a little bit quicker. It's always going to be a little bit tougher, and in the situation and. Throw emotions into it as well, but that's where we did not do a very good job at executing. And not saying I'm not giving them credit for some good plays and some good situations, but there were some things that we've got to do a lot better. Whether it's the tempo situations, whether it's the big shots down the field. There's some discipline things that I'll really fall back on that'll haunt me for a while, and will haunt this team and this our program until we can get them fixed.
Luke, did you get a good look at Chez's fumble?
No. It's a fumble. They call it a fumble. That's all I can say. I asked why they didn't throw a beanbag and if they didn't see anything, but you know what? They call it a fumble. They call it a fumble. We got to overcome the situation there, and we got to find a way to get it back. And, like I said, 3-0, 3 turnovers to 0 turnovers. I mean, that's not complimentary football. That's not saying that the offense shouldn't turn over. It's also saying that the defense got to find ways to create those things like they did.
How difficult it is to you did a good job for most of the second half controlling Ward, but that last drive he was able to break out and make some plays.
Yeah, I don't. We panic a little bit. We I'm not. He gave him some credit. He made some really big plays, and that's what it comes down to. Ultimately, in games, you got to find ways to make plays, and there was an opportunity for us to make a few plays there at the end. We didn't, and they did. And I think there you look at it, what's the difference in the game besides turnovers? I mean, it's a tale of, in some ways, two halves, but what it comes down to is making plays, and they made more plays.
There seemed to be some confusion on defense with some subs every once in a while there. Was that just the speed of the game, or what happened?
Yeah, it was. It was a little bit of the speed of the game. It's on the road. It's a little bit of the environment, I think, in some ways, but it has to do a lot with, the tempo which they're playing with too. And you get into those situations where you want to try to sub, and it's really difficult to do it. So that's on us. We got to do a better job coaching that, not putting our guys in some of those situations, even though we're trying to get ourselves into the best situation, but we actually put ourselves in some poor situations.
Luke, everyone wants results now. Do you think it's going to take a little bit of time to implement everything you want with all this newness?
No, this is the finer thing. This is, playing together. This is, finding ways to finish. I mean, we find a way to finish, and it's a completely different thing. And yeah, I mean, it's always about, continuing to grow. And I'm not going to blame it on, well, this is the first year of this offense or this defense. No, the reality is we have enough talent to win, and we can play well enough to win. And I don't think that anything should hold us back. We just have got to find ways to do better jobs of putting our guys into situations where they can be successful. And so I'll put that on myself, and we'll continue to grow.
Look, at what point do you is it automatic that you go for 2 when you get to that point? It's 24-20 late in the third quarter.
We didn't want to chase points there at the end of in the third quarter, where there's some situations where maybe you would have gone for 2, but with as much time was left, and I thought the way we were playing, I said let's not chase points. We went for 2 on the one that was 24-22. Maybe hindsight says don't. It just puts you in a situation where you don't end up down 9. But I think when you're going to be aggressive, when you're going to put yourself in those situations, momentum and energy, I think going 24-24 changes the complexity and the energy of the game completely. I don't think missing the 2-point conversion, it's not like they gained a lot of energy back. So that was kind of what wrestled in my head, and I liked the way we were playing.
What was it about their front 6-7 that made it so difficult to run the ball?
I don't know. I mean, we'll have to go take a good hard look at it. I think that they did a good job at twisting. They play hard, and they and I do think that we got into some situations. I know first half wise we did not run the ball. I don't know, maybe 30 yards, and I think Tanner had 28 of them or something like that. But we can't put ourselves in those situations where we can't play to our strengths a little bit better. So I look at it as a whole fold. It's not just we didn't run the football offensively. Defensively didn't play well enough to put us in some situations in the first half to allow our guys to be a little bit more methodical and pound the ball if we needed to.
Tanner's 2 turnovers were blindside hits, where the left tackle got beat. Do you like the way he responded after giving up those turnovers?
I've said it time and time again. He responds really well, and he handles those situations, and those are tough ones. Those are difficult ones. They in the long run, I think they end up turning into 14 points. But he continued to press, and I thought our offensive line guys, obviously after giving those 2 big ones up, I thought we did a lot better job after that.
Anything else?
I say, Luke, just how do you feel about getting Bryson Green more involved in him with that big playability that he's had?
I thought he did a great job. He's going to continue to be a guy that we can, that can, cause some issues for other people, for defenses. He did a great job tonight. We've got to find ways to continue to get him the ball and take some more shots at him that aren't like the last plays of the game and things like that. But, there's some bright spots. There's some guys that played well. There's stretches where we played good enough football that we can play for a championship. And then there's stretches where we didn't play nearly as well as we should and could and know we can.
Is Will Pauling all right?
I think so. I think that, he just took a good shot. I think his back was a little sore. But he'll be fine, I would imagine.